In this next part of the program, we're going to be combining simple back bends with core stability training. This will help to bring the body back into extension and promote better posture. You should find it slightly challenging, so feel free at any time to take a break and come back in when you're ready. So let's get going. Coming onto all the fours, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Taking it further from there, just sinking down to the forearms. Forearms are parallel, shoulder width apart. And slide the legs back one at a time. So we're starting the party off in the Sphinx pose. It's a nice, easy, gentle back bend. Swoop down through the elbows. Lift the heart higher. Relax the stomach. Draw the shoulder blades apart. Isometrically, try and push your elbows apart and pull the elbows in towards the hips at the same time. So stabilizing the scapula, the shoulder blades, creating stability in the shoulders. So hold the pose, nice and light. Feeling expansion on the inhalation and release on the exhalation. Now we'll be moving forwards into the low plank pose. So from a nice soft pose, we'll be going into a dynamic pose. So toes under, take the weight into the elbows and the forearms, push down, lifting the hips and pelvis. So coming into the low plank. Balanced energy throughout the legs, stomach, the lower back, shoulders and arms. So this is a nice dynamic pose. Take the chest just slightly higher away from the floor. Take the tail under. Moving further into the low side plank, take the right hand towards the left elbow. Turn the heels over to the right and lift the left shoulder and hand up. Keep the right hip off the floor here. Coming back to the low plank. Changing sides, the left hand to right elbow, rolling over. So the weight's now through the left arm. Take the right hand up towards the sky. Left hip reaching away from the floor. Root the heels back. A few breaths here. Coming back into the low plank and melting down to the floor. Back to the Sphinx pose. And coming up the way we came onto all the fours. Now we'll be going into the high plank pose. High plank to cobra, then we'll come up again and take the side planks, Vashisthasana, to either side. So from your all fours position, bring the left foot back, knee up. Right foot back, knee up, creating the plank pose. And again, balanced energy through the legs, the spine, the shoulders and the arms. Draw the stomach in towards the spine. Keep the neck long, top of head reaching away from the tail. And from here we're going to begin to sink the plank. So bring the elbows slowly back. And begin to sink towards the floor. Bring the heart forwards and up. Root down to the hands and bring the upper chest up. So going into the high cobra here. Draw the shoulder blades together. Opening over the heart. Holding the pose. And from here, we're going to just create a gentle twist in the upper part of the spine, the thoracic spine. So turn the shoulders just slightly towards the left side. You get a slight stretch on the right side of the body. Come back to center, root the hands again if you feel it beginning to sink, and turn the shoulders lightly towards the right. Come back again. One more time to each side. Turn the shoulders over towards the left. Come back to center and turn towards the right side. And from there, coming back up. Turn the toes under, lift the knees, lift the pelvis higher. So the heels, the pelvis and the shoulders coming into alignment. Now we'll take the side plank. Turn the heels over to the right side, lift the right hip, and take the left arm up over the left shoulder, opening across the heart area here. Come back to the high plank, turning over, so Vashisthasana, the side plank on the other side. So right hands lifting, grounding down through the left arm. Keep the left hip away from the floor. Root the heels back, top of the head forwards. And this time, bring the right hand over to the left, turning all the way over. Take the left arm up and over. So going into the upward plank here. Take the hands just slightly behind the shoulders, fingers pointing forwards. Root down through the hands, the arms. Push the toes away. Begin to lift the knees and the hips. Opening the heart here. Let the head hang. So opening the throat area also. So you can hear it's quite hard to talk. Such a dynamic pose. So keep everything strong, everything long. Then from there, stay in the pose. Looking forwards, just take the chin down. Push down into the heel of the right foot. And lift the left leg. Sink back down again. Push down into the opposite foot. And bring the leg up here. So one more time to each side. It's like dancing the can, but not so much fun probably. So lift the other side up. Sink. Lift the opposite leg. Keep the hips away from the floor. And going back down on to the pelvis. Root the sit bones down, growing up through the spine. Raise the hands up over the shoulders. Going into the staff pose, Dandasana. From here, take the arms parallel to the floor. Begin to pull the heels in, fold the knees. And from here, lifting the toes, just leaning lightly back. Keep the front chest reaching towards the knees towards the chest. And pick the heels up off the floor here. Ankles, knees joining here. So hold as best you can. And then we'll take it slightly further, lifting the left heel up. So the left lower leg parallel to the floor, the right lower leg joins. And from there, if you want to take it further, bring the left foot higher and the right. Knees, ankles together. Try and keep the toes higher than the top of the head. Lift the heart, the shoulders. And from there, just to cross the ankles and come up to sit in the cross-legged pose, Sukhasana. Take a breath. You can hear it's getting kind of testing now. So you should feel the heart pumping, a bit of sweat on the forehead. All the good things are trying to intentionally go for, by the way. And now we're going to do the last part of the series. We'll be doing the camel pose. So just to come into all that, come onto all the fours. And we're starting the extended child's pose, Balasana. Bring the feet, the toes together, open the knees. to accommodate the width of the body. Sit back to the heels and let the hands just slide forward away from the shoulders. Sink the front chest. Let the forehead go towards the floor, towards the mat. Top of the head reaching away. So extending up through the spine, through the shoulders, the arms. Nice long deep stretch here. On an inhalation, coming back up onto all the fours. Bring the knees together, the toes, open the heels, and sit between the heels. So into this nice, steady, seated pose, Vajrasana. Just using a moment here, you can feel maybe the knees getting a light stretch, the thighs. If you've got sensitive knees or something's hurting, it's always an option to lift the hips and place a blanket under or something. And just staying in the pose. A few more breaths. Take a long inhalation in through the nose, into the body. Exhale out the body, out the nose. Feel the shoulders drop. And moving forwards, come up with the hips. Open the knees hip width apart. So hips over knees. Getting prepared for the camel pose. Keep the hands on the hips, the thumbs back, fingers pointing forwards. And from here, we're just going to rock lightly back. And like a car rolling downhill, pull the handbrake and stop for rolling, and then come back up again. So just rocking backwards and up again a few times, going back, holding, and coming up again. Come back. This time, let the right hand find the right heel. Don't turn the shoulders over hips. And lift the left hand up and let the arm go back. Take the chin, the nose back, hang the head, push both hips forward. Let the shoulders fall back also. So this kind of half camel pose. And then take the left arm back, coming up. And take the right arm and do the opposite side. So the left hand over the left heel. And hanging back, but push the hips forward, ground down through the knees. Open the stomach, the heart, the throat. Maybe looking back behind you. The fingers reaching away and coming up again. So that's quite a challenge you've probably found. And now we're going to take both hands back. So leaning back, nice and steady. Find the heels. Turn the elbows inwards. Open the shoulders. Open across the front chest. Let the head hang. Ground down through the knees. Hips reaching forwards. Shoulders reaching back. Going into the full camel pose here. And come up with the head. Come up. Hips over knees. Shoulders over hips. Coming into alignment. And then sitting slowly back onto the heels, into the pose of Vajrasana. And to round this section off, we'll be going back into the child's pose. So if it feels okay, the knees together, take it from there, or it's okay to open the knees like before to accommodate the width of the body. So find what works for you, in other words. And coming back down to the lower arms, maybe swaying gently from side to side, loosening up now. So the work's over, well done if you've made it this far. Stretching out through the arms and shoulders, all the tightness out of the lower back, shoulders and arms. So it's quite a workout, so use this as a little stretch out. Let the top of the head go down towards the floor. And this time, take the hands back behind the back. So just Hold one wrist with the opposite hand and just stay in the pose with your legs open or closed. Find which one you'd like to be in. So this is a nice stretch to the back side of the body, just melting into this pose. Let the shoulders fall, the neck relax, the stomach relax, let everything relax in fact. Just feel gravity pulling you into the centre of the earth. And stay in this pose as long as feels good. And I'll see you in the next section.